Dear Venerable Sisters and Brothers, Dhamma friends, we are going to start the day's Dhamma talk. May everyone settle down for the talk and give the consent with 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Namo tasse bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasse. Katame tayo dhamma vishesha bhagya tini kusala mulani ti. Dear Venerable Sisters and Brothers, Dhamma friends, we already got the start for this topic as to say what are the 3 wholesome roots. The characteristics of that 3 wholesome roots is, whenever they are aligned with, you feel something distinctive, something special. So, to have this distinction or distinctive experience, how to facilitate it and what are the conducive factors are special task of the meditators, I would say of the meditators of the residential retreat. Because when we are doing at home, not that it is impossible, but the trend, the momentum, the gathering of the moment is very slow and often it is get distracted. So therefore when we are full time in a retreat, residential, we have a lot of chances not only to start the journey but to keep on gathering momentum and again come back and test it again, do it in 1,000 times so that you can acclimatize into your own ways and means, your own technologies, your own abilities. So therefore, whenever the theory understanding is fairly completed and whenever you learn where to focus and how to verify and how to report, it's like a subject in the classroom, like. It's not religious, it's nothing religious. It's nothing any philosophical. It's very pragmatic, it's very practical. Therefore, early part, some or the other you have to take time till it gather the momentum. Not that gathering the momentum is directly leading to the final liberation, but it makes structural changes in your brain. And then not even you do away with that kind of a way of life, even you are not facilitating it, next time when you are going to do it yourself, with least amount of additional support or support from the outsiders, you can assimilate the path. You can clear the path again. So therefore, till that it can kind of a distinctive changes in your brain or changes in your consciousness or in your mind, to take time. And therefore, easily, irrespective of whether you are a monk or reverend or the full-time meditation, or you are ordained or not, male or female, multitasker or simple person, you can give a try. But of course, I stress it. When we are in a residential retreat, you are better off. So I am going to remind the early parts we have already established or already discussed. Whenever we are sure with our moral code or moral responsibilities, that means sila sikha or moral restraint, we have to understand it. Upon that only the rest of the restraints like concentration and wisdom is possible. So therefore, individually as well as a group, we must maintain integrity, the moral integrity, moral responsibility. It is like a cleanliness and disinfection before the surgical operation. If it is not cleanliness is not assured, and if it is not disinfected, better not to cut open and go for an operation. So therefore, the precepts or moral responsibility. Not that you all are breaking it, that is why I am reminding, I am telling it is very important. If you have not broken, there is something special. Where you can refresh your mind. You can renew your mind. I am such a person, I can maintain, I am up to the precepts that I have already observed. And upon that, you have to have concentration, restraint, concentration practices that is not addressing to the transgressional kind of defilements. Transgressional kind of defilements only you can tackle with moral restraint. And once that is being kept at bay, then the concentration restraint, it is bringing to the obsessional kind of defilement. So obsessional kind of defilements, we usually name as 5 hindrances. And that 5 hindrances are also representative of unwholesome roots. Lobha, dosa, moha. That means a transgressional kind, the desire, hatred and the ignorance is so thick, so gross, so disturbing the society. And once you stop it or you suppress it, you keep it under control with the help of the moral code, then you only can see not you are disturbing the society, but your stream of consciousness is utterly disturbed because of 5 hindrances. For answer that question, now you have to practice concentration or restraint. And that is the part basically we are specializing in a residential retreat and full time. And once that assured, automatically the meditation is advancing towards a wisdom restraint. There may be a little bit of adjustments, maybe a little bit of conducive factors necessary, but once the concentration or focusing or one-pointedness is assured, of course it is temporary, then you can see the next part. So we, day before yesterday, try to understand when you are doing nothing. For example, when you sit very comfortably and make sure I am secured, I can close my eyes, there is no much of sounds that is calling me or disturbing me, and try to be aware here, now, I am sitting. Whenever you are in this concentration restraint as to sitting meditation, and you for sure, comfortably, if you can be aware that I am sitting here, each and every thought moment like that is a clear indication, no 5 hindrances, no 3 unwholesome roots. So therefore, the wholesome roots or overcoming of unwholesome roots are in action. But unfortunate or disadvantageous thing is, the beginner cannot understand whenever the mind is free from 5 hindrances or free of unwholesome, they can't understand the distinctively or delimited manner. So therefore there are a lot of aphorisms, lot of instructions to communicate it with an advanced yogi and to convince the beginner. So this is what it called lack of defilements in terms of obsessional type, or 3 unwholesome roots. So exactly free of unwholesome roots or free from unwholesome root is the 3 wholesome roots. So therefore, whenever unwholesome Roots are working, you can feel it, the irritation, frustration, tension, friction. So whenever there's no friction, no frustration, no tension, hardly you can read it. Even then, you may read it as boring, you may read it as monotonous, eventless, not dramatic. So start yawning. So much of theoretical understanding is necessary. This is a kind of a result of your moral restraint, and top of that now wisdom restraining is happening. So that is why this lack of tension, lack of frustration happens, but our mind is quite unfamiliar with it. So therefore it is asking something. It is asking some kind of defilements. So therefore the beginner do not know how to appreciate it, do not know how to succumb to this motivation given by the defilements. If it is so, why the Buddha, why Venerable Sariputta is telling, when and where no three unwholesome things available, or you are with wholesome, how can it be distinctive? Why do you call it is distinct? So if it is distinct, you must feel it. You must have benefits then and there. But instead, there are chances you to misunderstand it, you to misinterpret it. And then you may consider it as a punishment. You may consider it as a confusion. You may consider it as something wrong. So that means even at that level, the teacher must help, the advanced yogis must help, and you must seek advices. That is why we have given up all our family bonds, our duties, everything, and come and hear, just like a patient is at the ward. You have to be whole day, must be under the surveillance of the doctor and the nurses. And occasionally you taken into the operation theatre and do the surgery also. So likewise, occasionally when and where you feel lack of defilement in terms of 5 hindrances or 5 lobha dosa moha, please excuse me for using these Pali words, I hope you can understand it. And when they are, how to distinctly understand this is a free from lobha dosa moha, or this is the mental state with alobha adosa amoha. It is being so much we are absence of it, we are far away from it. Whenever it happens, we feel something, may be as something positive or negative. So how to give a theoretical understanding, how to give a yardsticks to measure whether it is positive or negative. I would say you cannot achieve that by overnight. You cannot achieve by one single sermon. You can achieve by one single effort. You have to do it number of times. At the early part of this striving, I use the technical term striving. This is not trying. This is striving. You do with doubts. And if you can tell, this is the mental state, still I have my doubt. I don't know whether I am advancing or whether I am coming back. Whether I am in samatha or I am in vipassana. I am really, it's the result of my meditation, or is it a punishment? So whenever you are expressing only, the other party can understand and say that area take only practicing, not only put forth the effort in a correct way, but your interpretation, how do you take it into and to share it with others, very essential. Otherwise, very difficult to put into the correct track. I find in the today's meditation world, not the meditators, even the masters are not qualified for this thing. They are also not practical. They are not pragmatic. They are not verifying what they are talking. So they are all misleading others at a gross level. So majority following them are helpless because they are beginners. And unlucky thing is, even the masters, they are not doing purposefully. They are misled. They are misinterpreted. They They are not bad people. But they have not practiced under serious masters, and they have not gone through, so easily they become rhetoric people and very nice speakers and charisma. Everything people go into the wrong line. Can't help. That is the norm. But it must not be like that. There is a method. There is a way out. I doubt whether it can be applicable for 100%. No, only the people with the quick wit, people with the yoniso manasikara can understand it. So therefore the Buddha says, dve me bhikkhave paccaya sammaditya upadaya katame dve paratocha goso ajjhatan yoniso manasikara. O monks, I find there are two proximate causes for the right view to arise. First thing, you have to listen. By your thinking, you never go to right view. Your thinking is always leading to hell. Always leading to negative. Always leading to unwholesome. So you have to listen. Second thing, you have to radically reflect it and understand in such a way, not with your theory understanding, not with your linear system of understanding. That must be radical reflection, wise reflection. Even if you listen, if you are not wisely reflected, you may misinterpret it. It's a hell in all the religions. All the religions, as time passes, a lot of weeds and other unwanted things happen. People can't understand the crop and the weeds, so they fertilize, they water, and the crop as well as the weeds are growing, no one knows what is the crop. So that is why Dhamma talks are. So when and you come and sit, don't expect, due to your precepts and everything, the obsessional kind of defilement not to arise. Don't be fool like that. Our mind is always with 5 precepts. But you have to understand they are not transgressing now. Even though I have a feeling of hatred, we are not killing someone. Feel like killing, but killing. Feel like robbing and misappropriation, but you are not doing it. You feel like erotic feeling and the desire and sexual and sensual, but you are not transgressing. You feel like lying, slandering, but you are not uttering a word. So therefore, understanding of 5 hindrances means, you know, if you are not with the moral restraint, you would have transgressed. If it is so, you will be decided by the penal code or social law, and you will be put into jail. But lucky enough, you understand the defilement, but it is not transgressed. But it is torturing you. Your stream of consciousness become filthy. And incessant way, the sexual desire, the hate, the sleepiness, and the past and future, and the entertaining doubts happening. So if you are negative with that, if you feel, what a person am I, even with that other people are nicely sitting and meditating, my mind is always like a sawmill. Sounds. Others, when you look at very half-opened eyes, they are very nicely sitting. You feel so envious because they are very nice meditators. I, myself, is full of 5 hindrances. But there's a reason to be glad. That is what I am going to tell you. Reason to be glad because you are sure it will never transgress. It will never thread pass. It is only within. Whenever thread passing, other person can see, at least one person. But when you are in the obsessional, only you can see if you are sharp enough. But you know it is not been transgressed, not social violation. So you can understand my mind is now protected because due to the moral restraint. And now I am face to face with defilements or 5 hindrances. So I am somewhat protected. At home, without the precepts, anything can be transgressed. So now here, therefore, now it's a time to deal with these 5 hindrances But using the terminology, using the vocabulary of the Buddha, household life without precepts, it is called Kama Guna. Kama Guna means you see different colors and different shapes and television and trips and everything. You are filled with. If you are rich enough, your house is a hell. So much of visual things. And you are still envious. The neighbor is having a bigger screen and they have 3D. They are going to go 5G, 4G, but my children and I am very poor there. That's why I have a black and white, I have a flat screen, I have this and that. So not only that you are filling yourself with all the filth, but you are envious to the others also. Sound-wise, you have a lot of equipments. Dolby system, stereo system, Western music, Eastern music, many ways. And on top of that, the neighbor also giving music. So you full sensuous pleasure. And the smell, you go abroad and bring little tiny vials, very expensive, and keep it, because you can't tolerate your odor in your body. Therefore you are happy with all the smells. And other pharmaceutical and beautification, all the kind of thing. And when you are eating, whatever the thing you are eating, not enough. You once in a way go out and have a party or go to a buffet, eating. And the household furnitures and kind of thing. So even a middle class person is having so much of luxuries. Earlier even the kings cannot afford to that kind of thing. Now a medium class house, if you go there, so much. So if you feel like sitting, you can, or otherwise you can lie down. Have you ever sit on the ground at home? Never. It is something meaningless to ask the visitor to come and sit in the floor. Never. Unless otherwise a monk come to your house, you never sit on the ground. You are such a luxurious person. Your backside is asking all the cushions. So you have all the cushions. So that is what we call our ability. It's called Kama Guna. On top of that only, the copulation and the sexual, this thing can happen. That's the last. So that is called, there are multiple layers. This is called Kama Guna. So when you come here, that Kama Guna is replaced by Kama Sanya. Kama Sanya is 5 hindrances. So Kama Guna is virulent, it's vehemently attacking you and the society and damage to your future and the present. Damage yourself and the outsider. But Kama Sanya is the diluted form. Now you are confronted with Kama Sanya. In other words, Lobha Dosa Moha in terms of obsessional defilement. So therefore you have a reason to be glad, because now you are not immediately with Kama Guna. You are better off, you have came to this kind of a thing, and you can be happy. But I have never seen in my life, meditative life, anyone is happy whenever he or she with 5 hindrances, they find that is also too bad. Of course it is bad. But the comparative to the Kama Guna, Kama Sanya it's a diluted form. It is not so poisonous. It is not so inflicting. So therefore Kama Guna is replaced by Kama Sanya. There you cut off so much of the percentage of your defilements. If you are aware, if you are appreciating, I am no more, I am with Kama Guna, I am with Kama Sanya. So maybe 70% of your defilements already gone, but you are not appreciating, so you are not benefited. You have no theory understanding, you have no pragmatic usage of Dhamma. So Nissarana is a kind of a sign, you are not with obsession, you are not with vitikramana in Pali. So if you are lucky enough to understand, of course, my stream of consciousness is not defiled. But it is not defiled with the Kama Guna, now it is only defiled with the diluted form. That is the Nissarana, and then the Buddha. And you can complain Buddha now. Tell him, Bande, I was full of Kamaguna, and due to you I came to the meditation center, due to you I became a nun, due to you I became a monk. Now you see, my stream of consciousness is full of Nissarana, all over the Samo in the little diluted form. Then the Buddha says, yes, I take responsibility. Replace Nissarana, replace Lobha-dosa moha with your primary object. That is called Rupa. That's called Rupa Karmasthana. That is called Kaya Anupassana. As far as you are with your primary object, not only you are free from Nivaranas, you are free from Kama Guna. You are free from Kama Guna, Kama Sanya. Now you know you are with particular primary object. So the thought moment, you keep your mind face to face your assigned primary object. That's what I referred as the Rupa. Then theoretically you are sure you are free from Kama Guna and Kama Sanya. And your mind is with Rupa. Your mind is in-breath. Your mind is out-breath. In-breath, out-breath, in-breath, out-breath. So to keep the track, to be face to face with the primary object, you note it. That is to facilitate mind to not to astray, going here and there, again and again applying to the primary object. That's called applying thoughts. If you are not doing it, that is what you call concentration restraint. If you are not doing it, mind is taken to the defiled other objects. That's also called vitakka. That's also called applying to, but that application to the defilements, now you knowingly, you apply to the one of the assigned matter, that must be repetitive, recurrent one, that must be a neutral one, that must be equanimous one. So Buddha suggested, what about breath? As and when the breath happens, in breath you apply in breath, out breath, out breath. So it's called naming, labeling, vitakka. So this is a simple technique, not let the mind to bewilder, not let the mind to run astray. Just apply again and again, even then it may be running. And some you may see that even without applying thoughts, I can keep it with the primary object. Well and good. If it is not going to the primary object only, you have to applying thought. One person asked today, Bhante, what is the meaning of vitakka? Vitakka means our mind is always have the tendency to jump out. So we knowing that tendency we put into something in, not out. In breath, out breath. In breath, out breath. Or rising, falling. Or you are sitting and touching. So each and every thought moment, you keep the track with this assigned and appointed place. It is like a assembly ground. When the house is in fire, you must go to the assembly ground, that's safe land. So before we go to the retreat in other countries, the first day they come and give the familiarization program. He says, if the fire failure happens, this is the main switch. If the water failure happens, this is the tap. And this is the assembly ground. So if you have anything, please run to the assembly ground. That's a safe place. Likewise, the Buddha says, this is your assembly ground. Save your mind from raga dosa moha, bring it to the assembly ground. If you do not know the assembly ground, it's a mistake of your familiarization. It's a mistake in your introduction. So that is why the first day, or immediately after the first day, we gave a talk on where to keep the mind when you are sitting. Where to keep the mind when you are walking. Where to keep the mind when you are in day-to-day activities. If you do not know, that means you have missed the bus. The retreat is in vain. So anytime don't hesitate to ask, Bhante, I know when I am sitting to keep the mind here. But sometimes that is also losing the ground. But I don't know when I am walking what to do. Or you may say, sitting, walking, okay. Bhante, where to keep the mind when I am brushing my teeth? Where to keep the mind when I am eating? So these are valid questions. Don't think by asking you will be a Montessori. You will be lowering your status, never. So when and where you are sitting after you know that no sounds, no seeing, and keep the smelling and tasting as much as less, and be with your body and try to be with the live, the intrinsic character of the living body is the breath. Of course, on top of the breath, there may be some wind movements, there may be some weight, there may be some stiffness, tension movements everywhere. But they are not consistent, they are not recurrent. But the breath, as far as you are living, that is called intrinsic. No, you can't do away with that. So Buddha is giving the breath. So imagine you can keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cycles of the breath. So much so, whether you know or not, each and every thought moment, mind is with the breath, no raga, no dosa, no moha. So not only that, at the transgressional level, now even at the obsessional level, you can test yourself. This is called not trying but striving. As much as you are with the primary object, so much so. So, Upanishad Sayadaw used to say, imagine for a split second, for a second, you are noting one time in breath. Next thought moment or next second, out breath, one time, again in breath, out breath. For the 1 minute, 60 times you are noting in an arithmetical way, 60 thought moments you are free from raga dosa moha. Imagine you can keep the noting intact. 5 minutes, 300 times your mind is free from raga dosa moha. So you can calculate how much you need raga dosa moha, how much you need not raga dosa moha. So this is the way you become distinct. Now you are behind the helm. You can control. Of course, after 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you will be utterly boring and you get up and go. Never mind. Never mind. At least 1 minute, at least 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you keep on doing. But the thing is that 2 minutes, 3 minutes won't give that much of a contentment. That won't give us that much of a result-oriented idea, because you feel like exhausting. Keep on noting, but still you feel like in a tension. Still you feel like in a frustration. But now the situation is different. For example, the Sayadaw says, imagine a small fishing boat, when it is launching to the water, only normally in the single-day fishing boats, only 2 people going. But 2 people cannot launch the boat because the wave is very fast. So therefore 10-20 people has to wait. And there's one leader, he knows after 7 big waves, there's a calm down wave happens. So he calculates and says, when I give a sound, when I give a signal, we 8 people push the boat perpendicular to the wave, push into the water. And they go up to the shoulder level in the water, push it. And the people going on the fishing round jump into the boat, others come back to the shore. The 2 people jump into they have to start rowing, till the breaking of the waves happen, he has to row. Incessant way. But once you go little deeper, waves are not so vehement. Waves are not breaking. They can little relax. But still they have to row. Then you can see the dry land is becoming further and further and further. Likewise, at the beginning, while launching, embarking, so much of work. And then only you can go deep and deep. And there the water is not so pushy. Waves are not so unruly. So likewise, when at the beginning it is happening. Of course, for the senior meditators, it is not happening. They can easily disembark the or launch a boat, and they know the tactics. They know the proper time and they can do it. But for the beginner, this is the case. So therefore you feel like fighting. What the hell, that is additional suffering than the lack of suffering. But after a long time only you will understand. So even though you are exerting, you are striving, throughout your stream of consciousness, not with hate, not with desire, not with ignorance. But you to feel it, you to verify it, you to experience it, it takes long time, yes. It is disadvantageous to the beginner. But it is a sure and short method. So imagine now you learn how to sit and wait 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 20, 30 breath cycles. And there you find after a while, it is easier than at the beginning. Any skill in our life, exactly the way. If you wish to train a push bike, exactly the way. If you wish to learn typing in the typewriter, exactly the way. If you wish to learn violin or piano, so much of training necessary, not otherwise. So soon you sit in front of a piano, you can't play a song. You can just play one note. And after long time only, you can read the graph. And I have never seen a graph in a proper way, but I have seen in some of the shows and kind of thing. I have my piano, that means my father. Not other piano. Piano is father for me. And the mother is something else. So, luckily or unluckily in our school, in the stage there was a piano. And we used to go little earlier to practice boxing, and we used to kick the different buttons. And it sounds calm, so the teacher come and chase you out, telling that you bloody fellows don't know how to play piano, don't push it. So any art on the earth is exactly the same. So therefore don't try to play a song when soon you see a piano. Meditation also the same. This is very important, this is very interesting, because you can't practice this, the repetitive application at your deathbed, darling. When you are sick, no. When you are old age, no. And that is the time you need it. So if you can do it beforehand, you will be better off. So if you do not have radical reflection, if you do not have wise reflection, you say, our life is to entertain, what the hell, and going and sitting, no dinner and no cushions and kind of thing. Bhante is always blackguarding us, better go home and eat and sleep. Yes, no problem. I mean, it is not a crime. It is not something punishable. And the people doing that will look down us, telling that these guys should have something psychopathic situation, because they are always going to the meditation centers and not eating and self-torturing and cross-legged and just like a Jesus on the cross. No problem. Because we are self-appointed. We are not asked, we are not forced by someone. Therefore, don't force someone to meditate. It's a crime. I am telling vehemently, I am telling exactly, don't tell anyone. But if someone is happy to come, give utmost help. Don't tell someone you must go to meditate and I am meditating, you are inferior, I am superior. It's a very dirty thing. But when you are practicing, after a while, you see, while sitting, mind is full of defilements, maybe with hindrances. But the thing is, you are sure, if you sit 15 minutes, during that 15 minutes, you have not killed a single animal. During these 15 minutes, you have never misappropriated anything. You have not done any sexual misconduct. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, or any other sexual act. And no slandering, no lying, no harsh words, no tail carrying. So what a way. And top of that, one day, the Venerable Sariputta come and say, oh, this is something very distinct. Thing in our life, we are sure 15 minutes our mind is free from lobha dosa moha. That is, you are alobha dosa moha. And the day you try to feel it, the day you try to verify it, the day you try to feel the contentment, It is something, in Pandita Sayadaw's words, inalienable, unalloyed. That very thought moment. Understanding, now I earn such a thought moment, no, is free from raga, free from dosa, free from moha. That means I am with lobha, dosa, moha. It's such a distinct, such a spiritual, such a the philosophical thing. I earned it. I can't teach others. I also did with so much of trial and error. But now I can understand. So how can you make it 2 thought moments, 3 thought moments can happen. So therefore, not only Buddhist, even everyone, meditation means sitting for them. Meditation means closed eyes. Meditation means no sounds. Meditation means hand upon hand. Meditation means cross-legged. So, whenever you imagine meditation, you just go for sitting. Now I am going to take you from the sitting posture to the walking meditation. And how, while walking, you try to experience alobha, dosa, moha. The difference is, why I am taking this as a separate subject is, in sitting you doing nothing and observing, in walking you are doing something, walking, and meanwhile try to see, while doing a simple task, can I still experience the stream of consciousness free of raga, free of dosa, free of moha. Alobha, dosa, moha. You feel like it is impossible. You may do it walking for the sake of exercise, to mobilize yourself. So therefore, even then you have to do it. While doing, in sitting, you may be focusing on the end of the nostril or top of your mouth, upper lip, for example in the breathing. But in walking, 2 places, left, right, 2 places. So therefore mindfulness is not focusing to one point. So one-pointedness is differently defined in walking meditation. Your focus itself is changing. So therefore you never think in a walking meditation the concentration can happen, one-pointedness can happen, focusing can happen because you are in 2 places. And sitting meditation, you are engaged with air element. Expansion, contraction, in-breath, out-breath. In walking, earth element. Hardness of your soul, touch with the hardness of the ground. So therefore, the impact, the inflicting nature, the touch of the ground is so gross than the air touch of the breath, air touch of the nostril, the air touch of the upper lip. So therefore it is the feeling, the starter, the beginners understand the breath, they always complain, even though I am sitting, I can't. It's yes. But in walking, hardly you can complain that I can't feel, because it is earth element. And while doing, you try to focus left, right, left, right, left, right. So therefore double-fold energy. In sitting, tendency is there to sleep. But in walking, less. Because it is active. But after a while, few days time, you yourself will complain, while in the walking also sleepiness comes sets in. But at the beginning, walking is an answer for the sleeping situation. And in sitting, 10-15 minutes time, you start pain, legs. But in walking, that never happens. It is an answer for leg pain, answer for the knee pain, answer for the hip joint, because you are in a active. And in sitting, you are making use your energy for noting. But in walking, you are accumulating, recharging your energy. Likewise, in sitting and walking, appear like something 2 different, distinct operations, but they are very complementary in a residential retreat. Sitting, walking, sitting, walking, sitting, walking. So when and where you, in walking meditation we say, when I go to specifically nowadays I am very busy with the Satipasala, that means mindful school. So I go in front of the young children and says, myself is 70 kilos. So when I stand still, what is the weight on one leg? This is 70 divided by 2, 35 kilos. So when I lift that leg, what is the weight for the other leg? 70% go to the, 70 kilos go to the one leg. Okay. Now when I place that lifted leg and raising the already placed leg, you are shifting kilos, 70 kilos to the other leg. Can you feel 70 kilos going to the left, right, left, right, left, right? Are you sure about what is the normal weight of the 70 kilos? Usually cement bag is 50 kilos. Not a single person in Nissarana can bring 1 bag from here to upper monastery. Only one person earlier available, he can take it up to the upper monastery. Otherwise, it's such a heavy thing. But when you are going up, you are almost taking 2 cement bags while walking. But some people are 100 kilos weight. You don't feel. Why? It is happening in such a synchronizing. So in a flat land, no bends, no, climbing and descending. And when you are walking, do you feel 70 kilos movement? Do you feel the shifting of the weight from one leg to the other? And when you are touching the ground, are you touching the whole feet, whole sole, or the heel, arch, and the toes? And you see from the heel to the toes, 70 kilos moving? You don't feel. So if you try to feel it, you can, not only you can feel your leg, but you can see the texture of the substrata, the ground. Each and every time you touch it, you feel the texture. This is a tile, that's a quiet, that's sand, this is a lawn, everything. So when you are walking, if you are not concerned all kind of thing, where is the mind? Lobha, dosa, moha. If you are concerned about the texture, if you are concerned about the earth element, if you are concerned about the heel to arch and the toes, no lobha, no dosa, no moha. On top of that, you understand who am I. Many people are working with one leg. Other leg is passive. If you play football, you know you give the kick exactly with the one leg. You can't give the kick for both the legs. If you happen to jump, hop, step and jump, you can't change the legs. It must be specific. But in your walking, you don't know. But after walking meditation, after a while you will see, my right leg is active, left leg is passive. Or sometimes left leg is active, right leg is passive. When you are writing, you can see right-handers, they never ask the help of the left hand. You start writing everything, doing everything with the right hand. If you see, right hand is little white color and long and big muscles than the left leg. You don't know. You don't know exactly the way left leg and the right leg. Buddha is the only person had both equal. Not a single person, but they don't know. Because while walking you are talking. Finished. Katha basake yano. You can't walk without talking. It's the agony. People feel that you are unfriendly while walking, and if you are not touching the hand and talking each other and kuchu. Just like walking, you are walking in the park like. See here and there and talking. So there you can see, under such circumstances, you have a chance to be alobha dosa moha, but if you are not restraining yourself, easily mind with lobha dosa moha. And when you understand it, when the Buddha is teaching you, walking itself is just like sitting. You can rescue, you can save. You can be as thought moments as possible, noting left as left, right as right. Left, right, left, right. So, Mahasi Sayadaw, the Upanishad Sayadaw's teacher, he says, the beginner, when you are walking, one step, one noting. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Imagine you can go from this end to the other end of your walking path. That means a good threshold, good lap. And after a while you see, yes, left and right is not so difficult. Then says, one step, two noting. Lifting, dropping, lifting, dropping, lifting, dropping. So, as far as you are noting one step, one noting, imagine you get so much of information. When you are noting one step, two noting, lifting, dropping, you get 200% information. And the very dramatic way of explaining is this: if you have to compare the left and the right, hardly you can find any difference, because our mindfulness is not sharp enough. Our faculties are not sharp enough. But whenever you note left and right and then go to the lifting and dropping, drastic difference. Lifting action and the dropping action. So there you can't do away with that noting it. So therefore you must collect information. Lifting, dropping, lifting, dropping. One step, two noting. And sometimes that is also become familiarized, acclimatized. You can do it, and whenever that kind of a thing happens, the teacher may say lifting, moving, dropping, lifting, moving, dropping. And if you read Visuddhimagga, it brings 6 stages for one step. Lifting, moving, dropping, searching the place, moving the leg, keep and press. So you can go as you like. Within one step, so much of activities. But don't go for that kind of a detailed noting at the beginning. Just do it left and right. And whenever you feel, sometimes the walking happen, for example, automatically. We use the technical term effortlessly. You can say, you can feel without noting. You let the body to walk, and it's walking like a puppet or like a robot. And there you can see, I am walking, I am observing. When such a thing happen, when Jnanarama used to say, if such a kind of vigilance and diligence happen, away from your walking path, when you go to the dining hall, when you go to the bathing place, when you go to the other places also, you can gain certain amount of information by noting left and the right. But the most important is, don't go with someone, don't talk. If someone is with you, your mind is not at home, not relaxed. So when you are in the forest, you get so much of chances. You are just walking through the forest. No one is there. And we know no one needs to come and call us. So we are walking. We are walking to Nibbana. Each and every step we are walking to Nibbana. We know it. Because there is no advertisement or by the side of the road. If there is advertisement, what is there? Provoking. Females are half naked and showing you to do the balance, and it's half done, so you pay respect. Go near the advertisement. So when I go from here to Colombo, so much of traps. So it's a hell, leading to hell. And if you go to Times Square, each and every wall is glaring. And you don't know which screen to see. So much of thing, and people are met up with so much of accidents. But still they like Times Square. Because still they like Raga Dosa Moha. Still they like technology. Still they like infrastructure. Still they like that like-minded people. It's a mad, mad, mad world. Instead, if you are walking in the shady area, in the forest, so you can have equal chances to have lobha and alobha, dosa and adosa. So you have a fair chance. But when you go to the cities, capital cities, very difficult. So imagine New Yorkers, bringing up children. They have never seen a forest. They are living in the forest, concrete jungle, and filled with, how can they make any sense towards the parents? How can make any sense to the moral responsibilities? Morality as such? No. And what will happen such as 2 generations, 3 generations time? They are like guinea pigs. They are like robots. And it's happening now. And we poor Sri Lanka also waiting to make it like New York. Everyone will give 2 votes if you can make it Singapore or New York. We are mad. Because we don't know Lobha and Alobha, we don't know Dosa and Adosa, we don't know Moha and Amoha. So therefore, having this kind of a chance, we ourselves striving to go into this one way to, or sometimes called direct way to hell, non-stop, go on. So in walking, if you learn it, you will understand each day if you can have 30 to 1 hour walking, not only walking part, maybe even in the evening walking, when it's happening, so much of relaxation happens. So therefore, more than sitting meditation, in walking it is very dramatic. Why? In sitting meditation you can make sure my stream of consciousness is free of defilements in the given moment. I am not accumulating defilements. But in walking, sceneries happens, hearing happens, air movements happen, so a lot of distractions happen. So you can understand, while keeping my stream of consciousness for the present moment by not accumulating and creating lobha dosa moha, what kind of past action, what kind of past karmic results can come and defile my stream of consciousness. This is in technological way or technical way, anuppannanam papakanam akusalanam dhammana. Not arisen, defilements to not to arise, we can make sure in sitting. But after a while, already arisen, your past karmic forces also bring, as a directed dispositions, your mind, your stream of consciousness become desirable or undesirable or ignorance. For the moment you are not accumulating, for sure. Because your mind is with the in-breath and out-breath. But while happening, some likings and disliking can happen. You don't know, it is irrelevant now. Sometimes unseen things you can see. Hearing can happen. So you think it's something mystics like. Maybe, but maybe your past karmic forces. They are more dramatic. They are get more chances when you are open with your eyes. When you with the sounds. When other things happen, so therefore more than sitting, walking, not only you have to deal with unarisen defilements to not to arise, but you have to deal with already arisen defilements in a 2-dimension way. They may be in one after the other or side by side. So when that happens, not to complain, but to accept it. This may be my past karmic forces. So therefore don't complain outside. Try to take mindfulness at a double fold, booster dose, while keeping my step. Right, left. Mind can jump into seeing birds, butterflies, flowers. And it can jump into hearing bird sounds, any kind of thing. So, if you are uninstructed, you will ask to keep all the birds out, to keep all the butterflies out, to keep all the flowers out, thinking that I can't meditate because butterflies are there. I can't meditate because of birds are there. But instead the teacher will say, never mind. While you are keeping a stream of consciousness not to arouse the defilements, the already arisen defilements happen through seeing, through hearing. And therefore now you are not only keeping your stream of consciousness not to arise unarisen defilements, you are to be alert already arisen defilements due to your past karmic forces can happen. Don't react. Be aware, where is your motivation, how much you get agitated from outside thing. Which one is the more agitating part? Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, or desirability, or undesirability, or ignorance. So if you can be aware while walking, make sure that you are noting, or without noting you can keep the track with left leg and right leg, but still I will pull into other side. Ear may pull it to other side. When it is happening, you are more natural than sitting. And if you can observe your stream of consciousness without attributing to someone, without commentary, this is what happens. It is more dramatic, like a lab experiment. You are taken into the field experiment now. But hardly people can appreciate it, because this is more a pragmatic way of meditation. This is a more dynamic type of meditation. This is a more mobilizing kind of meditation. This is kind of a diversification of your mindfulness. So therefore let that happen. Instead of complaining, see what are the most distracting thing when you are walking. Sounds, visual objects, pain, wind movements, whatever may be, it is character trait. It is your real self. So therefore, while doing, note them without analyzing, without telling, without try to do away with them. Let it happen. When happening, the two kinds of striving. Not only keeping the stream of consciousness free of unrecent defilements, but to safeguard, but to observe, monitor arising defilements due to your past karma. It is like paying interest for your already taken loan. And very difficult. Because our mind is easily attributed to someone. I am a nice, fair fellow, but other people come and disturb me. Birds are disturbing me. Monkeys are disturbing me. It's a way. Never mind. One day you will understand you are the only one disturbing monkeys. You are the only one disturbing flowers. You are the only one disturbing birds. They are not meant for disturbing you. You bloody fool make excuses with these kind of things. So you are just in front of a big life-size mirror naked. What do you feel? So when walking, if you are really see, Buddha is living, Dhamma is living, your meditators are living, because you are more put into feel. So therefore some people are happy with walking than sitting, some others are happy with sitting than walking, but I would say for the beginner, these both challenges must be there. So either of expanding still further tomorrow and feel like stopping today now at this level, hope you will put into practice and gain more dynamic experience with the mindfulness and to how to relate with the desire, hatred and ignorance. We are advancing, not we are asking trouble. We are not asking to go into this area, so you have to go armed with. You must be armed with energy, you must be armed with your mindfulness and certain amount of concentration and put into walking meditation and see which one you like, sitting or walking, and put into your meditation report, and that is the way you try to understand who am I. Otherwise, whenever you are not put into practice, you don't know. So more than sitting, of course sitting also opening windows, open window to understand who am I, but walking is more challenging, more dramatic. And so therefore, if you can gain certain amount of integrity, certain amount of steadfast mindfulness and certain amount of concentration in walking, that means you are ready for long journey. Otherwise you will be you will drop off soon. So not to happen that, always keep the walking meditation in a due respect. And not only do it only for the exercises, not only for the mobilizing and charging the battery, try to gain as much as possible in each and every touch. And ultimately you will see that is more applicable or related to your household life than the meditation retreat or retreat atmosphere. So therefore that you can bring home and put into practice. So I will deal little bit more further with that. With that remark, I would like to sum up the day's talk. Thank you very much for listening.